Okay, so I wanted to make a video about this Jesse Smollett situation going on. Um, a lot of talk, a lot of news stories going on, a lot of people chiming in. Basically, we're gonna watch this news clip, and then I'm gonna chime in. All right.
Police are now investigating if the actor, famous for his role in the hit series Empire, paid two men to stage an alleged attack against him. In January, Jesse Smollett filed a police report stating two masked men assaulted him while hurling racist and homophobic slurs before pouring bleach on him and tying a rope around his neck.
So first off, we have a situation where Jesse Smollett alleged that two men came to him and said MAGA country, tied a noose around his neck, poured bleach on him. I want to make this point, and I want to make this point pretty clear. Jesse Smollett is an alleged sodomite, homosexual man. And what's going on in the world now is that everybody is supporting these people that kind of live these alternative lives, have these proclivities, particularly sexual perverted proclivities, transgender, homosexuality, pansexuals. What people don't understand is that it's not just the sexuality that you're dealing with, is that you're also dealing with quite a bit of trauma, quite a bit of hurt, quite a bit of pain. And what people don't understand is a lot of these people are crazy. And Jesse Smollett is no different. This man basically made up a story about him being mugged for being, gay and black and all this stuff in the dead of winter in Chicago, and then tried to blame it on, white Southern men. So this is a situation where you see somebody who is deeply broken, deeply disturbed. And what it is that a lot of these homosexuals are deeply broken, deeply disturbed people. Anytime you get done with sex and, you're covered in the smell of poop, there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about being aroused by the smell of feces. Look, here's the thing. We live in a mad world right now, and people don't understand that one act kind of bleeds into another. There's an old saying, cleanliness is akin to godliness. How you live your life behind the scenes has a very direct impact on how you live your life, in front of people. What you go home and do in the dark will always manifest itself in the light. I think there's a Bible scripture based off of that. Something about, what you do in your secret closet or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. I'm good with scripture as far as concepts, but not necessarily word for word. But what you do in the dark will come to light. And one of the things that we're seeing with the Jesse Smollett situation is that, his crazy is just being manifest. And I'm pretty sure he's a very popular guy. He's got a hit TV show. And, the things he's been doing in the dark have been magnified by the fact that he has money and fame. So let's go ahead and continue to watch.
He identified the attackers in this blurry surveillance picture.
I don't have any doubt in my mind that that's them.
Friday night, police said they questioned and released two men ID'd in the picture.
That's crazy, because how can you say you have no doubt in your mind that that's them? I mean, Chicago, there's thousands, if not millions of people walking around in the streets. There's a surveillance video of two men who you can't see anything. There's two dark shadows, and you're saying you have no doubt that that's them. It just seems a little hokey.
Confirmed by NBC News as two brothers, both followed by Smollett on Instagram, no longer suspects. Investigators say they searched the brothers' home and found a rope, bleach, and black masks.
You do such a disservice when you lie about things like this.
Police issued
the pot calling the kettle black. You do such a disservice by lying about these things. Smollett, you're lying about those things, and you're getting ready to get caught. Now, I want to say this. I want to preface this. This is a news story. This is a narrative that's going out. But all these news stories, they already know how they're going to end before they even put them out, or most of them. I mean, no, you don't get to NBC, nightly news, or the mainstream media, and they not know how it's going to end. Every narrative has a purpose, every narrative has a plan, and every person speaking over the microphone is indeed a plant and indeed kind of in on the drop. So I don't know if Jesse Smollett is actually understanding of his role, but he know what he needs to do somehow, some way. We have to understand that a lot of these people are almost kind of like robots, and they have to do these humiliation rituals, and they have to do these things that sometimes are against what we would see as common sense. But when you're in the high level entertainment business, I mean, you're not in a world of common sense. You're not in a world of morality. You're not in a world of, do the right thing. These are movie stars. These are witches. These are warlocks. I mean, these are high level sorcerers. I mean, what is doing coke? What is raping a woman? What is having sex with two men having sex with each other? There is no God. There is no morality. These are pansexuals and worshipers of the Bacchus and all these, pagan gods that basically kind of push them and pull them into whatever proclivity and whatever, trinkets that those gods are set up to award their followers, money and fame and sex and all those different things. Let's continue.
Statement saying new information gleaned from their interview with the brothers shifted the trajectory of the investigation. Today, law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation tell NBC News Smollett is no longer considered a victim in the case, nor is he considered a suspect. And at this point, police just want him to come in and clarify his story. Overnight, attorneys for Smollett categorically denied the notion that he staged the assault.
And see, that kind of makes me suspicious because it's weird how news stories kind of give you just enough of what you want. They're kind of like, it's kind of like a soft porn. You know what I mean? They give you just enough sex, but with no penetration. You know what I mean? It's like, you saw the scene, but there was no cum shot. It's like that. It's like, I'm just going to give you just enough. So they're saying he's not a victim anymore. We just want him to come clean. Well, do you suspect it's him? Do you know it's him? They're not going to say, because that ruins the whole narrative. It's kind of like a WWE narrative. Like, we have to be, this is ongoing, and it's supposed to wrap up on Friday, but today's Monday, so we can't kind of give the ending of the story away, because then it would be over too soon and we wouldn't have anything to cover during the week. But at the end of the day, like, everybody suspects that he has something to do with it. Why would the news just not come clean? And this is one of the frustrating things people have with the news today, is because the news is just not coming clean with information. It's like, okay, an idiot can see that, he's got something to do with that, but the news is saying, they're not considering him a victim. And it's like, oh, okay. But in our brains, we're like, well, I guess I got to tune in to see how this goes. But our brains should be telling us that, there's something up with the mainstream media and the news and that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and finish.
He has now been further victimized by claims attributed to these alleged perpetrators that Jussie played a role in his own attack. Nothing is further from the truth, and anyone claiming otherwise is lying. And tonight, the actor remaining steadfast, standing by his story, despite the growing scrutiny.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks.
So Smollett is standing by his story, and that's what he's being told by his handlers. I mean, let's just, like I said, this is like a WWE narrative. He can't come out and say, hey, I got people on the inside that told me to do this, and they said if I didn't do it, then I'm gonna, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. They can't directly get up there and really kind of say that, and he's not gonna speak unless he's basically given permission. But I'm assuming that they're gonna wrap this story up pretty soon, and there's gonna be some type of strange conclusion. At the end of the day, there has to be some sort of balance within the overall global narrative, and sometimes they give wins to the right, You know what I mean? Because basically they just kind of fed Jussie Smollett to, right-wing politics or alt-right politics or conservative politics. I mean, they just basically fed him over. And I don't know what he did wrong or what he's doing right. Or maybe he just, was at one of those satanic meetings, satanic orgies, and was just like, you know what? I want to take a vacation anyway. I'll take one for the team. And they were like, well, we'll set you up with something next week. We'll have you stage an attack, and you say it's MAGA supporters, and it'll actually be some guys you hired, and we'll take care of you. You'll take one for the team, yada yada this, yada that. So you just never know. So you always have to stay vigilant, and you always have to stay on top of it. But that's all I have for that. Like I said, we'll post some more videos and some things going on. You guys have a good day. Be blessed. Be thankful.